Hey everybody, it's American Grit. It is the finale, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, are you ready? Because I'm ready. We got to recap 2 hours. We got special guests. It's about to go down. Let's do it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey!
I was off beat there. All right, I'm in it.
Oh, I feel it. Do you feel it? Hey!
Perfect time. Perfect time.
It's like a mixture of like, I feel super patriotic and super somber at the same time. It's like this mixed feeling. Like, this has been, the episode, the series, this entire show hasn't been very long, but it's been very intense.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, this is crazy, especially with the way everything went down, with the finale, the surprises. Yo, did not expect the end. Crazy, but we gonna talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your boy Lem Gonsalves in the building. I'm super excited. Next to me, she might as well have been here the whole time.
Pretty much, I agree. Should have called me since day one, guys.
Exactly. But I got here, right next to me, I'm a lucky man, Miss Ivette Saucedo.
Woo!
Hey! And of course, holding it down on the other side, we have the other Yvette Sanchez.
Hey!
With the patriotic, now you need to get, can we get a wide shot? Because we have some patriotic situations going on.
Right?
Like, all of that.
I
All
think
of
it's right
that.
here.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to do it wrong. I don't want to offend
I
anyone.
don't
Yeah.
Is there anywhere I can
Either way.
flex? So just get from here. Though. Don't get there. Can you cut that in?
Cut that in there. Oh man, but yeah, it's dope. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, my boy, my brother from another mother, Mr. Ty Matthews.
Get it! What it do, nephew?
Thank you.
You love it.
Waiting for it.
So happy to be here. I cannot believe how quickly this season went by.
Yeah.
It did. It flew
Absolutely
by.
It's a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind.
Packed a lot of emotion
Yes.
into these episodes.
Right.
Got a little bit dusty out there, some
Right.
of these episodes.
Yes.
But we're going to talk a lot about
We're
it.
going to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we could not end this without another special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this brother right here made it all the way to the bitter end.
Yes.
The bitter end was a team
sad.
of one for a long time. Miss Ivette Saucedo's partner.
Yeah.
We got Touchdown Tony in the house. Hey! What's up, man?
Nothing much, brother. Just enjoying the little high that we just had from watching that last episode.
I
It was
know,
kinda
man.
nice.
That was crazy, yo. Like, I gotta, okay, I'm gonna start this. Your girl right here, she told us when she was here the first time, she was eliminated, and we all cried, tears, real ones, and you were left by yourself, and she said, ladies and gentlemen, do not worry. Just look out for my boy Tony. And you made it literally to the end. And looking at that back, what kind of stuff is swirling around? Because I know it was very emotional, it was grueling, it was taxing, the whole nine. Please let us know what was going on.
Well, when Yvette left, it was a good situation. It was just bad timing. I wanted her. We had a pact that we said that we will not leave each other. So one of our biggest things was we're gonna go to this together. We're gonna go win it. That's how our pact was. But it didn't happen that way, which was sad. I feel like a little punk a little bit because I've been crying all the time.
Get it, boy.
Kind of weird. I'm like every time somebody leaves,
Hey,
I'm
you
crying.
know what? You know how many comments I get on my Instagram about you? Can you please introduce me to Tony on my Instagram?
Yes.
Today I had to respond
man.
to somebody and I'm like, why don't you tell him yourself? At Touchdown Tony Simmons.
Right. Get it.
Girls,
Get it.
he has it on Instagram, okay?
It's great. I love
Although I do have to do the, checklist and make sure you guys are good if he accepts it, but
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, you were talking about just being emotional.
Yeah, and as emotional, a lot of people don't realize we were living together and we were doing so much together that we got to know each other in such a short time. and you just get emotional with each other. Like you lose somebody, and you know you going after each other. It's like, you know, we become instant family overall, and then you have your immediate family, which is Team T.
Right.
That was my immediate family. So anything happened to them, I'm protecting them. I'm doing everything possible. I'm like the big brother, like, don't touch my sisters.
Right.
Don't touch them. Leave them alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like a big dog. Like, don't touch the sisters. They
Right.
good. They good. Leave them alone. But it was overall, man, when you think about it, the trip we went through, the journey we just took through, it was awesome. You know what I mean? I met a lot of great people on the way, but it was taxing mentally and physically. But I know one thing, though, we put it together. It was a good show, and I hope everybody that saw it and reached out, that they were inspired and motivated to do more.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
That's just to me, and it's interesting you say that, because before the show even aired, I had the benefit of interviewing Noah Galloway, and so and he literally, and I said this, you know, before a couple of times during our after show, but he inspired me to want to cover the show. Like I, you know, had heard about it, but when he told me about it, and he was so vivid in how shaping it was for the people on the show, and he couldn't give, of course, too much away, but from what he said, it was like, yo, if I don't cover this show, I'm doing a disservice, because this is going to be something amazing. And did not disappoint, you know. Of course, his team won, and, you know, they do well, you know, the whole entire time. So, you know, kudos to him as a cadre and a leader, and what he took for the team. And we need to get what you're sipping too, because I mean, I'm just saying. Can you share? Can you share? Like, what's up, man?
all red here.
Like, come on.
Touchdown,
Touchdown, Tony.
I had a couple of drinks when I was at my viewing party, so I'm kind of dehydrated. So whatever, I'm good.
We heard that you need water. We heard that. We heard the water comment. Yeah, but I mean, it was a lot going on. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I was inspired. I'm a former military person, but I was inspired to want to do more, you know, just with myself. Like, at least get in the gym and do some push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Because, for the very least, like, do some crunches or something.
Go to the gym and take some selfies.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. But I mean, it was awe-inspiring to see you all kind of go through that, and seeing everybody's story unfold, you know, in front of us.
Yeah, and it was, and you know what I liked about it was that, and I'll say this, we're not trying to play soldier.
Right.
We're not playing soldier. You know, we do a smidget of what our American military goes through. We're doing a smidget.
Right.
But for us to go through it, and, you know what I mean, as long as we did, and go through it and make the mental mistakes, and, you know what I mean, because there are mistakes out there in the field of battle as well, and then have to turn around and correct it, and so we can win. And, you know, it's so much going on in that short amount of time. But the one thing we did do, we all bonded, and that's the one thing that I know the military does do. They put a whole bunch of people together, throw them in the room, and say, you guys are platoon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever numbers, and say, survive for each other.
Right.
I don't even know this dude. I don't even like this dude.
Right.
You gotta work with him. You know? This is how it's gonna work.
You're together.
I hope you didn't feel like that about me.
No, you are great to work with.
the trajectory of Team T from the beginning to the end is so, like, I think they took kind of the longest journey and saw the most. You know, they're the very first team to have someone eliminated.
Right.
They're the very first team to be reduced to one person. And then we saw them, you know, like you said, at the very bitter end.
Right.
I wanted to ask Tony, from comparing day one to the very last day, what do you think were some of the biggest changes in your mindset being there the whole time?
Well, when we first got chosen, I'm not gonna lie, Yvette, you can vouch on this one. We were the team to beat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We were like,
They were like,
I mean, looking on paper, you guys were stacked.
Yeah.
You guys were stacked.
We had the height on
we had
point.
the height,
we were all
the
like,
look, we had the whole thing. It was just all together. Chris in the first one, like, Chris is like, and Chris was one of the strongest guys in house.
Absolutely.
The boy was he's a physical specimen. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, this dude, okay, you know, but we lose him. Then we lose Brooke the next week, and it was like, oh my God, are we about to be exterminated in the first 4 weeks? I was like, man, this is gonna be a quick game. And then Yvette and myself, we laugh, you know, we're putting it down. We're coming in second a lot, and we're just trying to get that one win. And then Yvette goes out, and that kind of hurt a little bit more because, like, I didn't cry for Chris. I cried for Brooke and Yvette because those are my girls, and you know. And then next thing you know, it was me by myself, and I'm like, man, I gotta survive. If I go, T goes home, and I don't want to go home, and T don't want to go home. So put a little extra pressure on me. But you know, I mean, listening to all my teammates over the time that they were there and getting it together. About time we did start winning, it was a culmination of listening to what they wanted and how we need to do stuff and putting it all together.
Now, can you you mentioned about that first win that you got, where you know you didn't have to go into the circus. Just that feeling, because I mean, I'm telling you, man, I was rooting for you. I mean, I was rooting for you. I'm like, if you don't get out of that,
I have a feeling they were our favorite.
Yeah.
No, we never wanted to exactly say it because we didn't want to show favoritism.
Bias.
But I really think it was. I mean, that I think was the true underdog story. And I loved it because it was, everyone was like, oh, well, his age and, he's only a football player. And I was like, no, guys, that's not all he is. And then, we've got the bombshell right here.
Right.
The bombshell equestrian that,
Exactly. No, I mean, really,
I want them to be like my squad goals.
Squad goals.
Hashtag squad goals. Taylor Swift ain't got nothing on this.
There it is. But no, I want you to, if you can just take us to that moment when you got out of that chicken coop, man, and you won, and you didn't have to go in. What was that felt like? What did that feel like?
Okay, when I got the door open, what they did was the same thing, kind of what Hayes did to their doorknob. They had the doorknob kind of latched in well, and when I got my hands in there to actually get to that knob, and once I popped that knob open, I don't know if y'all realize how big I am, 6'2", 225 pounds.
That's a big guy.
That little crack opened up, and I was like, oh, I can get through that. And then, I just pushed my way through, grabbed the flag, and came back out. But I don't know if you guys actually realize this, too. When I was coming out, my foot got stuck between the wood and the board, and I had to basically jump. I took just ripped my shoe off and jumped down and touched the flagpole.
Really?
No, a lot of people didn't see that. I had to put my shoe back on, so that was right between there.
Oh wow!
So,
but you needed to do
coming
it.
out of there. Once I jumped down, I grabbed the pole, and I realized we won. Then that's when the celebration.
I think
went
it's the
off.
only time I've ever heard T scream like a girl. She's like,
It came out.
It was a good one. That was a great win, and that started that was a good time for me to get my first day of rest.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of talks with John Cena, and he was like, "What would this be like when I was going to the circus?" And I was like, "I just need a day off."
Right.
That's what I cared about. I didn't care about anything else.
did they show what your gift was, or what you got? Did you just get food? Did you get a
got
massage?
Food. Lots of food.
It was like a feast.
Mac and cheese.
It was T. This is T and myself and John Cena. We had enough food to feed 2 teams of 4.
Really?
Man, we had so much chicken though. It was nice. Chicken. We had greens, cornbread. I was like, oh my
we had
god.
food, but they wanted to feed us
That is my favorite.
They thought we were all really into healthy food and only ate like athletes and stuff.
I know.
But we weren't.
He said, I know.
I
We
remember
were not. Maybe the only ones that were
know?
super strict on their diet was Chris, Machine, and Claire. Those are the only ones that are really strict on their diet. Everybody else, because
Everybody
those
else
3
is
blow
like,
up like
hey,
a
just give me
balloon
some
if they
fried
don't.
food.
Everybody else was like, please, we've been running every day.
Right.
Can we just get some lasagna or some chicken or some chicken
pizza.
wings? Pizza.
Yeah, because
Everybody
at
asked for
one
mac
point
and cheese.
I had 3 pounds of Sour Patch Kids.
That
That
night?
was my gift. That was one of my biggest gifts. I said, give me some Sour Patch Kids. And
Really?
I got
That's the thing.
Tore it up. So when you did in that same moment, that was supposed to be where you got to have a relative come, and of course you decided to give it over to Hayes because of her wanting to see her dad.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah.
That's a little bitter.
A
She
little
said
bitter.
You could have brought her back.
If I would have brought you back, then I wanted you to stay, but then that would have been bad.
Please.
But I just want to know the reason, for doing it. I mean, it was a great gesture, and I mean, you were the hero, of the week for that. But what prompted you to do that?
What happened was this. Okay, so when we won it, it was more on the little behind the scenes stuff. we won, and I was talking to Cam, and Cam was like, "Man, good job," and this, that, and that. And he's like, "Man, I ain't even want to see my mom anyway." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of don't." You know what I mean? He was kind of, it's kind of that situation. Like, man, we lost. Well, I ain't want to see my mom anyway. Right? And I was like, well. I said, well, I don't really want to. I said, well, my mom can't come. Right. And I was like, well, I don't really want to see. I said, my sister, you know what I mean? Okay, it's my sister. Right. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I'll see her when I get back. I'm here for a mission. Right. And I remember Hayes was like, yeah, I never got a chance to see my dad because before the show, my dad was traveling and he was traveling internationally. So I actually travel internationally, and I live overseas most of the time, and I miss my daughter and all that stuff. So I'm back and forth, and I know how that felt. And before we even like left the actual event, I talked to John Cena, and I talked to Crow, and I said, can I talk to somebody about this? And I say, well, it's my gift, right? And they said, yes. And I was like, I want to give it away. And they said, why? And I said, I just want to give it away. I got my day off. I'm good. Right. Yeah. All I ever asked for was a day off. So, and then they was like, okay, we'll, put it in motion. And I say, just give it to Hayes because she hasn't seen her dad. And I was like, you know what I mean? I was happy that he was a Marine, and I get to have another Marine on board because I don't have Yvette no more. Right. We got, just T and as being a gunny. I was like, man, we can get another Marine out here and kick it. You know what I mean? There was a lot of other stuff going on, but I just wanted her to, understand that I know her dad loves her and everything, but he was going to come, and I wanted him to be there for her because for me, it was, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like my sisters, I see my sisters all the time. You know what I mean? It's not like this big deal to see my sister, but
dude, she's gonna see this.
Tone it down, man. I would say that, man. I'd have like a fork in my hand. I'd be like, what?
So the real reason Tony did it because he didn't want to see his sister, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't even a great gesture.
I really wanted Hayes to see her dad. You know what I mean? She talked about her dad so much. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? After watching that, but if you guys know anything about the Hazlett family now, I'm like part of their family now. So I actually seen her dad overseas. He actually seen me coach a football game overseas and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of cool.
Absolutely. That's so dope, man. That's so dope.
That's awesome.
I really appreciate, like I said, just the show itself, going back to, the format. I know Yvette was telling us, some of the things that you guys did when it came down to the circus. Like it was like built, like really recently, so paint and everything. And it's like to see that they kind of did this at a short time frame, but the way it came out, it didn't appear that way, unless it looked like it was very well thought out, and just the things that they had you do and kind of go through. It was just simply amazing, and to push you to that limit. I don't know, maybe for the exception, I don't know any of the show that does it in that manner. You know what I'm saying? Right, you have, shows and reality shows that are coming. You have Survivor where they do different challenges, but I personally don't remember seeing a show like this that pushes you to that limit and really has you rooting for the person, everyone to do well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's the difference between this show. This show was more, it was meant to be out to change the mentality of what old reality TV shows were. Right. Backstabbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The backstabbing, the extra, well, we had the love affair, but it didn't go that far. But you know what I'm saying? That
Cam and Hayes.
Everybody,
like the producers
a
and
lot of
everybody
half-naked
said
women
that.
walking around all the time because it's not warm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? We seen some things, but keep pushing on about that. But
yes, we saw things.
Now I remember.
Yvette, let us know what was up.
K-Joy was the one that got the real visual, but
oh shoot! American Grit After Dark.
This is why we go on so late.
It was meant to come out to change the idea of a reality TV show, to form that a team. It takes a team to be a hero and stuff like that, and especially with our American military and how things are in our society right now. I think we needed a show like this to make that build of like. Everyone's always said it takes a tribe to raise a child, so it takes a team to make a hero. So that kind of go hand in hand, and watching it, how it all goes, it was a great show, and I'm glad that I was given the opportunity. I had an opportunity to meet Yvette. I saw Yvette way before that
On
when
Instagram.
That's where I saw
we were
her.
in LA when we first started. I saw her when I was leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was the first time I saw her. But you know what I mean, you never think you're gonna be on the team with the person.
Right,
So.
right.
He's like, is that girl in the heels thinking she's gonna make it on the show?
There she's so not gonna happen. So Tony, before we let you go, I just want to know if you can just let us know what we got going on now. I know you said you're overseas, you're doing some coaching.
Well, right now I'm in Chicago right now,
Okay.
but I'm actually gonna be going to Russia as of next Friday. I'll be in Russia, and I'm actually coaching a Russian team called the Moscow Patriots over there.
Okay.
And I was also given the honor to coach the Russian national team as well.
That's amazing.
That's
But we're trying to get him
Really?
back to the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's enough globetrotting.
So doing that, and you know, I'm just enjoying myself. I've been away for almost 7 years, so I've been back and forth for 7 years. So I'm kind of used to living abroad and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, let everyone know where they can find you on social media if they want to get a hold of you, so they don't have to use Yvette's Instagram anymore. They can contact you
No, I like
directly.
using Yvette because Yvette got like all these like good-looking friends. And I'm trying to get in there. You know, I'm trying to get in the group now. You know, so, on Instagram, I'm at Tony Touchdown Simmons. Twitter, I'm at Coach TD Tony. And if you have me on Facebook or anything like that, that's Tony, Touchdown Tony, period.
Touchdown Tony. There it is.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Touchdown Tony.
By the
in
way,
building.
Tony and I are planning on doing Amazing Race together. So
Yeah,
There
so
you go.
what's
let's
up?
spoiler.
Get in there trying to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be
shoot.
great. That would be real good for us.
That would be dope. I could so see you guys doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what another would be cool is that Dancing with the Stars should totally take American Grit and like do
Nice.
this.
Then I'm gonna have to jump in. With
All sorts of options.
I can see Tony with some moves, working it out
Oh
with the
yeah,
waltz.
we'll
You
get
know
it
who's
in.
got
With
moves?
that-
Who's got moves?
Hayes.
Really?
Hey, little white girl can move.
Yeah, she can throw
yeah.
down? Yeah.
she
Hayes
throws
and
down.
her dancing.
Yeah.
What is like? What kind of dancing?
You know what?
She's twerking.
Yeah.
She's,
Shut up.
Yes.
Hayes is twerking.
How
This is a
come
lot.
everyone can do it and I can't?
You got the
Wow,
booty.
I would
don't
not
know.
even.
don't know.
Yeah, you should be able to twerk. I don't understand that. Oh
around
man,
and jiggle.
that's
I went to
crazy.
Catholic school, that's why.
Is that what it is? All right, Tony,
just a
man.
jiggler. You're not a twerker.
Just a jiggler. No, man. Thank you so much, Tony. Appreciate you, man. Join us
Not
for
a
the finale, man. Much blessings to all, everything you've got going on, and we're gonna look for you for the Amazing Race.
Yeah.
No doubt.
There
Love
it
you,
is.
Timmy.
Touchdown. We'll see you,
All
man.
right, Timmy.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye,
Timmy.
good night.
Bye.
Why did I yell?
That's what
I'm
it
used to it
is,
from my
man.
new job.
This is what it is. Oh man, so we got to figure this out. We had 2 hours of a finale.
Got a lot to cover.
We got a lot to
We
cover.
gotta figure this out.
But we're just gonna do the Cliff Notes
We're
version.
gonna do the
Cliff
lightning
Notes version.
round.
Right. So we'll start with the evolution, right? The first one, tired out.
That was a good one.
That was crazy.
That was a good
And that
version.
one, I meant Tony finishing first on every single part of that obstacle.
Yeah.
Man, because nobody realizes that Tony is a G when it comes to puzzles.
Gee.
Man, he's just
Yeah.
crafty little guy.
But I think that in itself, that was hard. And I think it really came down to because what it was at the third leg, it was everybody was even, right? Or was it the fourth leg? I know it was the
It was
one
the
where
fourth leg,
was the
everybody
fourth
was
leg.
even, yeah.
Fourth
Yeah.
leg, yeah, because Jim was the last person.
Right.
And he was like, oh, everyone's still
Because
here.
they got stuck at that one tire where they were trying to figure out how to untie it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you notice, Claire was staring at Tony's, trying to figure out how he
Really?
did it.
Oh.
So thank God she did, because we probably would have still been there.
Yeah.
But he got that out, and then ended up making it through.
And I think, up to that point, that tire run, I think he really had the best advantage because all the other teams had to wait for the entire
Sure,
team to
sure,
get through.
sure.
And he could just keep going back and forth.
And that last one, you figure like a mile there and a mile back. That was scary. And this is the last leg, and it's the longest leg.
Yep.
I'm like, you got to be hurting at this point.
Yeah.
And everything's, but he jumps in first and he wins. Shout out to him for doing that. I think that was super dope.
Yeah.
So he got that. And then we see all the cadres, they get to bring a friend of theirs to kind of help inspire the team, which I think was a good moment. I
Absolutely.
think all the teams kind of got from that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the more perspectives that they can get from more people that have been there. I mean, obviously the cadre brings such a wealth of experience, but seeing the people that were right there with them, like seeing the guy that can remember, 10 years ago, the accident that caused Noah to lose his limbs.
That was huge right there.
And I also think it just shows that the cadres, are more than just cadres. They have friends. They're emotional. They're not always these, hard people who don't know how to talk to someone or haven't gone through something or haven't had a hardship. So it's like I think it just kind of brought everyone down to the same level and made everyone see like, all right, they're just like me.
Oh my God, when you saw Rourke though, that was like a
I was just about to say I love. Oh my God, that kills me.
I would have thought I would ever see Rourke cry. He cried like, oh my God.
No, but I think too, even though his team, overall did not do well, but I think he was, to me, probably the most invested cadre as far as the way his team was, because he would, and we know editing, happens. So I know all the cadres talk to their teams, but they showed us him talking, doing things with his team afterward to try to motivate them, try to do them.
Yeah, I feel like Rourke took a much more paternal approach.
Yes,
I feel like everyone else were they were coaches and they were great coaches, but Rourke was like, these are my kids. That's what it felt like.
And that's what he treated them as. Which is interesting because you think like, if he's doing that, I was like, why are they still coming in, last? And I don't know. Everyone has their perspective of things, but I know that it was. I would feel bad disappointing him. You know what I'm saying?
In the end, it just matters that you make it through circus.
Right.
Winning the evolutions is cool because then you just get to rest. But in reality, like, Goldie was the one that did the most circuses and came out of every single one.
And that's a good point. Yeah, even though they came in last place a lot, they were still 3 strong up until the very last circus.
That's true. And I think too, what that did was with them is, like I said, even though they didn't come in first or whatever, that still they were bonded as a team. And I think that was from him doing what he did and taking that time to kind of really speak to them and motivate them and things of that nature. But yeah, to see him cry, that just showed that he was really pouring out his heart.
And they saw him as a father figure too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you remember when he gave him those bullet casings?
Yeah, the bullets.
It was such a personalized moment and such a moment of like, you guys are my team for better or worse. Like I think Rourke is the kind of guy that all he cares about is if they came away changed, if they came away with a good experience.
Exactly.
It would be great to win, but if someone comes away a better person or with a better experience for it, then that's really what's important.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. We start to get in. We get a sneak peek of the circus, which looks crazy, like the Tower of Terror or something. I'm like, what are they gonna do with this? I was like mind blown. And so of course everyone's talking about who's gonna go in. People giving predictions.
And I love Jim's tactic of trying to get into David's head.
Yeah,
like we saw a little bit of the mind games with Cam and Hayes.
Right.
But now like Jim's like, all right, this is my plan. I'm gonna start messing with this guy.
And Jim has done that before. Like he's the oldest guy, but I think maybe he uses his wisdom to be like, let me do some stuff with him. Yeah, I love Jim. He was great. He's great. So it ends up being actually someone predicted this. I think it was Jim. Jim predicted this. It was ended up being him, Mario, and David going to the circus. And basically the circus was like they called it like a treadmill, so to speak. I think it's a treadmill on steroids.
Right.
And they had to climb in rotations. When they said treadmill, I thought something was going to be moving.
That's what I thought.
Because I've seen those where you like constantly.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
But when I saw that they had to like actually like swing under, go and pull up, I was like, oh,
that was crazy.
I don't even know how many rotations they got to
like
90.
I think almost 100 or over 100.
Almost 100.
Yeah.
They tested those prior just to kind of analyze how many times so that they can kind of get an idea.
Engage.
And I think the people that weren't like the athletes, just regular people, did it like I think 30 times. So they thought, oh, that's gonna be probably, and they like almost, and they probably would have done more had.
Right, exactly.
Not marched to back.
When I saw that,
and let's talk about the heartbreaker.
So I hadn't even noticed, right? I hadn't even noticed that he hit the button until I saw Rourke go. Did you press the button?
Right.
And when I saw him cross his arms and he goes, and he goes, oh, I didn't see you. And it's like, I almost wanted to be like,
Just push it again to be on the safe side, right?
I would have been
That's exactly what we're
like, I would have
saying.
been like, you know, like when you're talking about someone and you go to
right,
check your phone real quick
right.
and you're like, wait, did I
Did I
press N? Like he should have done that. And then like you see the time going. So was Rourke not allowed to say like you didn't press the button?
Well, I think he was asking him because he was obviously allowed to talk to him because he asked him a question. He's like, "Yo, did you hit the button?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And then he's like, "I don't think you hit the button."
Well,
And he's like, "I didn't see you."
I don't know if I saw you.
Oh, I don't know if I
Yeah.
saw you hit the button. So he was basically, that was his thing. And you would think like, but I think a lot of it was just the fatigue, like mentally.
Yeah.
Like first of all, you're tired physically from doing all of that.
You know what's funny?
And mentally, it's
I don't know if I'm
spreading.
allowed to say this, but he wasn't tired.
Oh, he wasn't.
Mario was not tired.
It didn't.
Really?
You know,
He
it
didn't
didn't
seem
seem
tired.
Mario
He was
wasn't
just
tired.
chilling.
Mario was thirsty. Mario says that he was playing with the water on the thing and just drinking it from because he was thirsty,
Oh,
but
wow.
he was not tired.
Oh.
He wasn't tired. Matter of fact, David was his hands were all cut up because remember he had. No, that was he was wearing a ring, his wedding ring.
Oh, okay.
And so his hands were getting cut up, and it's not so much he was tired, but his hands were just
Right.
all messed up. And then Jim, I don't remember, I didn't talk to him about it, but I'm sure he was fine
Well, it was, but it's interesting. I mean, you say he wasn't tired when you would know.
because they were gonna keep going.
But yeah, but he ended up being first for most of the rotations,
Right.
and then he ended up last. And so on that particular one, I don't know how many times he came in last, but he ended up last. So I don't know. Something had to trigger for him to not realize.
Right.
I think he was just, he was just.
You get into a routine, maybe.
Yeah, you get into a routine,
Right.
go, hit,
Right.
hit. But I think maybe he just lost that little
Right.
sense of focus real
It
quick.
seemed like almost like he was trying to mess with David's head with the whole. You know, how David was holding off to push
Right.
the button.
Yeah,
that's what
maybe
I
that's
thought.
what I thought. Maybe
He was doing that.
My head,
call him
oh
and
my
ask
god!
him. I'm
When
just
that
kidding.
when that happened, so many things were going through my mind. At first, I was like, "Oh, is he just giving up?"
Right.
And then I was like, "Oh, is he just waiting till the last possible
Yeah,
second?"
that's what I thought he was gonna do, like wait.
Right.
And then I was like, and then they're like, but, and then they're like, Mario on a
And your heart
technicality. I
just
was like,
drops.
Oh, dude. And he actually, if you look at it, to me, you would probably know better, but it looked like he was getting ready to go
He
around
was.
again.
Right.
Like
He was getting ready to go
getting
when
ready,
he heard
like,
the buzzer go off. He was already ready to
Yeah.
go. And then
So-
they're like, Mario, and he's like, he even looked at it. He was
Right.
like, what?
I hit it. He even said, he's like,
Yeah.
I hit it.
He's like, I hit it.
No,
He's like, no.
No.
Like, he was like, no. And then
no.
they're like, yeah.
it was like heartbreaking.
Damn.
That sucked. I mean, to get that close.
And then
it-
to see him, like, when he started crying, like, you guys saw me. I teared up.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking.
it's not that he fell. It's not that
Right.
he slipped. It's
Right.
not that, and it's not that he couldn't keep going. It's not that he felt he gave it all he got. It's like the
And yeah,
technicality. He did not hit the
Right.
button.
And
It's
that's
just
yeah,
like,
that's so crushing because you got to think he could have gone so much longer.
oh yeah, he would have gone so much
Especially
longer.
if he really wasn't tired.
Right.
Yeah.
He would have beat out. Because to me, he was the favorite of the three.
Right,
Because we didn't really see what old boy had done. I mean, he just hadn't seen him yet.
Right.
And so, and Jim, to me, he was the underdog in that particular challenge.
Sure.
or
Well, you
that
saw
circus.
he
other
was the bigger.
teams. The
Yeah.
other teams were cheering for
Right.
for Jim and not oh my God, Mario.
So heartbreaking, gut wrenching. I feel bad. It ends up after he rings out. They have 30 minutes to get ready for the next evolution. So they run in and Tony's just chilling, like, "What's up, guys?"
If I hadn't even told him anything, I would have just been like, every member himself.
Right.
Right? Tony decided not to come.
Yeah.
Right.
But so he's chilling. They come in there, so they have to rush out. They go out, have 30 minutes to do this, and then they find out the next evolution, and each person has to traverse across a waterfall, and basically they're timed, and your average time of your team then is taken into consideration, and then if you have a team of one, obviously whatever that time is. And we see the two girls go first, and we saw, like, from that point until the end, they ended up turning into the weakest team. Of what we saw, even when it got down to the last circus, but they go across and they end up going first too. And then we see Jim holds it down. I mean, he kills it.
Yeah.
Tony makes it in 108, and at that point you're like, oh shoot, oh, it's a wrap.
When I saw
It's a
Tony,
wrap.
I was
Right.
like, that's it.
That's it, exactly.
Honestly,
Done.
and
Donezo.
when I saw him slip, I was like, he's still gonna get it in under a minute.
Right.
Like if he didn't
Yeah.
slip, I think he would have
Right.
won that whole
Right.
thing. Like, but then once again,
Yeah.
Well, when
Robot Man,
when Team
Robot Man of Mark.
But it was the average though. That's the thing though.
Right.
It wasn't him by himself.
Well, I know. So that's why, like, when I saw
Right.
it, I was like, dang, is Claire going to be able to? And then I saw her, I was like, oh my God. And then to see that Jim lost it by
And the
4.
way-
I know they should
way
have
they
presented
revealed
to the
that.
other way around.
Yeah.
Like they presented it like Jim did get.
Right.
That's what it seemed
and
like.
I was like, damn, that was a low blow.
Well, and because Team Rourke went first, the pace they set, I don't think any of us were really expecting like what's like an average time for
we
this.
didn't know.
And
Because
so
I was always under the impression that it was something like super, super fast.
Right.
That, you go through, but then I was like, but then again, they're lugging their own body with
Yeah.
just their upper body strength. So I was like, okay,
So they
maybe
ended
it
up-
is like 3 or 4 minutes
yeah,
to get
they got
across.
an average time of like
And
a
then
4.5
when
minutes.
Tony took off, I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
oh, okay, never mind.
They're like, he's gonna burn out. He's gonna burn out. No, he's
No.
not. He's gonna make it to the end.
And it was so heartbreaking because like that seemed like such an incredible, unbeatable time.
Yeah.
And then you just saw every member of that juggernaut team faster.
That's what killed me because it's like I could see like a team of one again. You see Jim
Right.
and what he did, and again Jim held it down. I mean, so he got 1 and 4. That means he beat Tony. So by 4 seconds. But to see that team, that an average of 3 people still come best.
I was thinking, I wonder if that's the kind of stuff that he would practice at work because he's a cop.
Jim?
Jim, yeah, like all the.
I don't know about the
I mean,
traverse
all
thing.
kinds
Not
of
that
stuff, I
though.
don't
Not
know.
that exactly. I mean, yeah, the
Getting
exercise
from
you gotta
one
be in
building to the
shape.
next,
Well, no, he did SWAT.
sniper stuff.
He
I don't
did.
know.
It's true.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
This is true.
I'm pretty sure. No, but he needed to know how to. Oh my God, what's it called?
Get across stuff.
Jeez, what's the thing called? I know what I'm saying because
Rope
I. But yeah, like you have to know like those tactical things,
I know
like
what you're
certain
saying.
things.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
true.
just, this is why we're not
There we go.
goals.
Tactical
tactical.
awareness.
No, it's not that.
No, it's not.
I know it's not that. It's when you scale, like they have to scale a building and stuff
rappelling?
like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Repel. Like we got it.
When you're
Hashtag.
Hashtag repelling.
if we were playing
love
like
it. No,
charades right now.
I know what you mean. I was just saying he wouldn't have to do that exactly. That's what I was saying.
well, yeah,
But yes,
but he
something
would have like
similar to
that similar. He would
same
know how
type
to.
of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and I wasn't surprised of his physical strength because he's proven himself, just his age and being,
But his fitness,
Yeah,
we
you
know
make it
his
sound like he's
fitness.
so old.
No, I mean, like he's the oldest on there.
He's the oldest on the show.
Isn't Claire the oldest one?
No, he was the oldest one. He's
And
53.
Claire.
No, Claire's 47. He's 53.
Yeah, he's 53.
She's the oldest woman.
She's the oldest woman.
How old was Lisa? Lisa was like 43 or something, right? Or 42 or something.
like
Okay.
that. Yeah. I'm not hating. I like Jim.
I know you like Jim,
I'm
but you're
just
like,
saying-
he's old and he did this.
Jim, you're not old. If you think anyone said that, it was Lem. Not us.
did it.
He watches this too.
I know.
Jim.
Call him, Jim. Tell him.
Jim, look at me, Jim. You're not old.
See, I'm
just saying,
repping Jim.
You're
I'm
very.
repping Jim Collins right now.
He had a problem with it. He keeps bringing it
I'm happy
up.
about what you did. I'm just surprised because you're just that good. That's all I was
Exactly.
saying.
That's
Thank
what
you.
it is.
Whatever.
That's what it is.
Jim's my boy. Hashtag traverse. Hashtag repelling. Thank you. All right. Next. So bottom line is those teams win. So then this was a really great moment when all the families show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really good, and I'm so glad that they did that because remember we thought, I said that when Tony had won, it was like, oh, they're just gonna have all the families show up, and they did.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I need to see because I know they need that.
Yeah,
I know
I
they
loved
need
Goldie's reaction.
Oh,
Out of
I
all,
know.
hers was the
Oh, yeah,
best.
with her daughters.
And then it was it David's daughter that ran
Oh,
in and
yeah.
said hi,
Oh,
Daddy.
yeah.
Oh.
When I heard that, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
That's
god.
the one you
Yeah,
said
real
that was being
dusty.
loud.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's supposed to be
It was
quiet.
real quiet, and she's like, "Hi, Daddy." It was so cute.
That was dope. No, that to me was. I mean, I'm putting myself in that position. If I was there, I would need that, especially going into the
Exactly.
last channel. You got to have that family. And so Team Noah, because they won that particular challenge, they get a 1 minute head start on the last circus. And so they all reach the platform first because of their, of course, they got the head start. And then they have the first heat. So basically what they have to do is they have what's like a post and they have ropes that they have to hold on. On the first heat, they hold on to the top rung of the rope, which is easier. And so no one fell. Okay. And so then they have to all go around through it again, and they added some extra things into the obstacle course, which made it a little bit more difficult. And then now they have to get back, but they're on like a second rung, right?
Yeah.
And now
And
it's
then
just
that mud thing that they added in just made it worse for them because they were cold and wet.
Right.
So then they would have to like try to dry off prior. But
Exactly. So then they're sitting there. So now it's literally an endurance challenge.
Yeah.
And whoever people are dropping like flies, and basically whatever team lasts the longest gets that dinero. And so we were talking about, okay, who's going to drop first and da. I was very surprised. Of the entire at this point from start to
how
finish.
it all turned out.
Right.
I was very, very surprised. What do you guys think?
Wait, I just want to point out how Jim jumped over.
Oh,
We
yes.
gotta
We gotta talk about that dog
Oh,
pile,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Yo,
that dog
yo.
pile.
Yeah.
Was it Claire that he was running next to that? Like she kind of went like that, and he was like, "Meh?" Like
He
I saw him like
did
swatter. He was like,
judo
like stiff arm. If he could, he was like stiff arm.
Like Heisman.
Like Heisman, but like nope.
But it
I
was
wish
like-
they would have had like a little like, boop, like
First of all, we have to give
like a little
credit.
sound effect.
We have to give credit to Yvette because she's the one that made that up. She started that whole thing.
Thanks,
Yeah.
right?
She started that.
Nobody
Yes.
even knew that she could go with two people at the same time.
Not
I'm
be right
kidding.
back.
She started it, and so Jim, of course, channeling Yvette, was like, "I have to do it and make it."
Yes.
And he came, and again, Jim, my boy, hats off to you. He killed it, because
did.
the whole team had to come across,
Right.
And he beat the two of them that didn't make it. So he comes in second, so that helped him, because it gave him a little thing there. So they start off, and Hayes drops off first. Surprise.
That was a
Yeah.
surprise for us too.
Super
Yes.
surprised. Super surprised. I thought she was gonna go the distance. She had been, a good contender this whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't expect her to go the full distance, but I didn't expect her to drop first.
Right.
I was like, I think all of us. I had my money set on Claire
Sure.
to drop first.
Oh yeah. Especially because she complained
know who-
earlier about, kind of her.
She just
being
didn't want to go to
her-
circus. That's why she complained. Just say you don't want to go to circus. Don't be like, oh,
Damn.
my shoulder blades.
yeah.
That's giving it one.
I got
My
gingivitis
hair
in my
hurts.
neck.
Gingivitis in my neck.
He's making up stuff to not go to circus. Oh,
my
it's,
God.
it's fatal.
But
It's fatal.
I definitely, I really did see that. I saw that the finale. I really thought it was gonna be Tony and Goldie.
Like duking it out.
wow.
Yes,
Really?
I thought it was gonna be
Wouldn't
them
that
too.
have been so awesome?
That would have been the best because
Yeah.
the only reason I thought that was because I thought, Claire had already been complaining that she was hurt. Mark was a big guy, so for his feet to be on that platform was hard.
And they did have that disadvantage because it was the only ones with three people. With,
Right.
And then the lumberjack with big feet
And then
taking up the thing.
I definitely thought Tony. I thought he was good when he had his arms locked out the whole time, but once he started going like this, I was like, no. And then when I saw Goldie fall, I was like, no. But
I was surprised. I thought Goldie, just because of what we had seen before, that was her wheelhouse.
Yes.
So I'm like, she's gonna last to the end,
Yeah.
for sure. She's gonna be duking out with somebody at the end. But yeah, Hayes drops first. Then it's David. Then
when
it's
David
Goldie.
fell, didn't that hurt though?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, you're right there.
Right
He was
there.
like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, and everybody, it's like you see, because like you said, they drop and then they have to go ring out.
Yeah.
So it's like this parade of people, and it's like you have to do that, and then they have the package afterwards, and kind of they're reflecting, and it's like, it's heartbreaking to get that far. I mean, you've put in so much up to this point, and I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that stuff you've been invested, and then you get to that, and you're just right there. And you just can't get to it.
And you're already beating yourself up, but just ringing out has got to be like.
Oh, God.
But you have
the
to remember,
insult
he
is
had
there.
just did the whole climbing the thing.
Right.
His hands were all messed up.
Exactly.
And yeah,
That's
you can
what
see
my
the
thing was
bandages.
like when I saw it. I was like, "My God, this guy must be like dying on the
yeah.
inside." So to hold on as long as he did,
Right.
I mean,
Because he had mentioned to me that he even had at one point just wanted to take his ring off and just throw it because it was just like cutting
Right.
through his skin. So I'm sure it was that part was hurting.
That's crazy. So like we mentioned, Goldie went out, and then we see Jim. He rings out, and then it's basically down to Tony and
Like
the
it
rest
is
of
through
Team
the
Noah,
whole
Claire and Mark.
show.
Right.
yeah.
And I was like, I
When I saw it, I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Tony's coming for the comeback."
I mean, it would have been literally the comeback of the century.
Yeah.
What an
I
incredible
mean,
story that would have
that would
been.
have been crazy to see him come from that. But also he's against 2 people, so there was a difference
You
there
gotta take
because
them both
even
out.
if you got to take them both out,
Right.
And so I figured
Mark was not going anywhere.
No, I figured Claire was going to
surprised
drop.
by him, man.
I was surprised Claire got that far because again I was projecting her to go first. But I literally thought at that point I thought Claire was going to drop and then it was going to be like between Mark and Tony, and to see who the better man was going to win. But no, Tony drops. Heart sunk. I was like, ugh. And you could see it on his face.
Oh yeah,
He's
his
just
his reaction just made me want to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Rocky. It's just the whole season's just been Rocky.
Exactly.
He was not meant to win that fight.
Oh man. So Team Noah wins. Claire and Mark that are left end up taking $250,000 apiece. And as I said, this once we finish watching, I mean, Team Noah, they were consistent the entire time.
Yeah,
they were the most
they were
consistent
unstoppable.
Team. Yeah, they were killing
really
it.
were.
So I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense for them to take it. But I think this is a kind of show, and I think even Tony
I should
mentioned
argue
this.
back, but I'll just let you have those.
No,
please.
No,
Because we all tried hard. It could have been any of us.
I was just gonna say.
No, I know.
I was following up.
But I mean, we all, anybody could have. Anybody deserved it. Damn it! I want a rematch. Is that the river that I'm crying? Is that the river that I'm crying right now?
No, what I was going to follow up and say was, I think, and Tony mentioned this too, everybody got something out of it. Everybody pushed themselves to the limit. So you can't, I don't see them as, I mean, everybody get money, but I don't think there's any losers in this particular, the way it was set up. I don't think anybody lost because the whole thing is, what was the saying? All we want is all you got.
Yeah.
And I think everybody gave everything that they had. Everybody threw every challenge, everything that did, because nobody, wanted to lose. Nobody wanted to disappoint their cadre or disappoint their team, all of that. And then to see, I mean, to me, and it makes sense too, because you look at you and Tony. You look at you guys are still cool. All of that going on. You guys are going to be an American race, amazing race together.
And we're all still really cool with each other. Like all day today, we've been messaging each other. Like, I love you guys.
Yeah.
This isn't the end for us.
Right. And then you don't see that. And I mean, I've covered a lot of reality shows, and these people are like, I can't stand that girl. Like, da-da-da-da. And you beef it on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just, I think it's dope to see that, and then, to kind of you be here to kind of tell us the experience, and how everything was and kind of confirm that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it.
That's it. That's a wrap on American Grit, y'all.
Oh, season 2.
Right?
When is that happening? Like,
let's get it, guys.
We got to come back.
John Cena never answered my
He will. He's just busy. He's a busy guy.
No, he's not going to. I think I'm just going to have to, I'm going to have to ring out on this one. Unless you still want to, you can find me on Sports and Sass or Yvette _Michelle 714. No problem. Slide in on the DM.
Goes down in the DM.
Oh my gosh, it goes down in the DM. Absolutely.
I won't give my number, but there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, that's been our show. We want to thank you all for keeping up with the season. We want to thank Yvette for being our host permanently.
Yay!
Yes. So
almost half the season.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
If we
Really
do
though.
season 2, if there's a season 2 and it happens, you have to come back
Yes.
and be on the panel. Is that
In.
happen?
I'm in.
There we
Yeah.
go.
You heard it
Good.
first. No
And then I
renege.
could be more like mean about it. Like, but I
I
can't.
didn't like her. I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Why they even put her on it? Why didn't they bring me back for the All-Stars?
But I won't do that with mine because I love all my people.
Of course.
Everybody.
Season 1 people were the
Yeah,
best.
The best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been your
TV
host.
back.
Yay!
Lem
How would you be
Gonsalves.
back?
I was
Oh,
like, how would you write that?
There we go.
except it's with an I, but it's okay.
But that's this Yvette.
That's
I
this
know.
Yvette, that Yvette.
Right.
Yvette, you can put, you should put, and then you should put, I don't know.
Nobody knows what you guys are talking about right now.
It's still the same.
There you go. Look
Right.
at
Let's throw out some plugs. Let's throw
I'm
out some
trying
plugs.
to, but they're on the team.
Where are we at?
Team Yvette.
There we go.
There we go.
I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. You can find me always at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Yvette Saucedo, where can the people find you?
At Ivette Saucedo on Twitter and Instagram.
Yvette Sanchez, where can they find you?
If you guys want to see what I do in my everyday life, it's Yvette _Michelle 714. And if you want to talk everything sports, it's Sports Sports and Sass on Instagram and Sports and Sass with 3 S's on Twitter.
There we go.
You heard it fear first, John Cena.
You do it like that.
My man Ty Matthews, where you at?
As always, y'all can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Ty Matthews PMA, various other after shows including Monday Night Raw, Houdini and Doyle, American Ninja Warrior, and Lucha Underground.
Booyah!
Uh-oh.
There it is. It's done. Until next time, we will see you later.
Adios.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Yeah.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.